Hello! Today's lesson to be changing lives. Здравствуйте! Урок 2b. Меняя жизни. In these lessons, you're gonna revise the present perfect with for and since. В этом уроке вы повторите или узнаете конструкции настоящего перфектного времени совершенного, которые говорят с какого-то времени или в течение какого-то времени. The context is provided by the story of a group of Spanish and British tourists whose holiday to Uganda changed their lives and led them to set up a charity, originally to help to build a new school for orphan children. Контекст этого урока рассказывает о группе туристов из Испании и Британии, которые попали на каникулы в Уганду. И это изменило их жизни, и они основали благотворительный фонд, который помог построить новую школу для сирот. And now their activities have expanded into many different projects. А затем их деятельность развилась на многие другие проекты. This lesson begins with a short radio program about the charity Adelante Africa, followed by an interview with Jane Cadwallader, one of the founder members. А урок начинается с короткой радиопрограммы о благотворительном фонде Adelante Africa и с интервью с Jane. Now you're gonna listen to this short interview and you have 9 questions. Let's read them and translate in order you understand all the meaning and then listen. Сейчас вы послушаете короткое интервью, и здесь есть 9 вопросов, ответов на которые есть в интервью, и вам нужно на них ответить. Прочитаем вопросы, поймем смысл. When was Adelante Africa started? Когда организовали Adelante Africa? Why were the tourists in Uganda? It's clear. What happened to the lorry in Igayaza? Что случилось с их грузовиком? Lorry – это грузовик. What was the building where the tourists took shelter? Shelter – убежище. What condition was the building in? В каком состоянии? What did one of the tourists do with the children? What did the head teacher tell them they needed? What did the tourists decide to do when they got home? When did the new school open? Okay, now let's listen.
2.13 Part 1.
The charity Adelante Africa was started in 2008. That summer, a group of Spanish and British tourists had travelled to Uganda on safari to see the mountain gorillas. Halfway through the trip, in a small rural village called Igayaza, the lorry they were travelling in broke down. While a mechanic repaired the lorry, the group took shelter in a nearby building. It was a primary school for orphans, children without parents, but it was in terrible condition. The walls were falling down, the blackboards were broken, and there weren't many desks. But the children were wonderful, very bright and friendly. One of the tourists was a primary school teacher, and she started teaching them English songs. She was amazed at how quickly they learned. When they left, they asked the head teacher how they could help, and he said, "What we need is a new school." When the tourists arrived home from their holiday, they decided to set up a charity to raise money to rebuild the school. 2 years later, on the 14th of March 2010, the new school opened with 75 children, and since then, Adelante Africa hasn't stopped.
Okay, now you can listen again if you need more information to answer the questions. Вы можете прослушать еще раз, если вам нужно больше информации или что-то еще раз уловить, чтобы ответить на вопросы. Хочу отметить, что head teacher здесь будет как директор, может быть, зауч в некоторых смыслах или классный руководитель. Ну, кто-то главный. Okay. Please write the short answers into your copy box in order you can be ready with your answers during the Zoom conference. Пожалуйста, запишите ответы в тетрадях, чтобы вы на Zoom-конференции в Zoom были готовы. B 2.14. Now we're gonna listen to the part 2, an interview with Jane Cadwallader, the Secretary of Adelante Africa. Сейчас вы послушаете вторую часть интервью с Джейн Cadwallader, которая является руководительницей Adelante Africa. You should number the photos from 1 to 8 in order she mentions them. Что вам нужно сделать? Вы прослушаете это интервью, затем фотографии, которые вот здесь есть, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Нужно их отметить 1, 2, 3, 4 в той последовательности, в которой Джейн о них упоминает. Уже B для вас сделано. Это было самое первое, о чем она говорит. Также хочу сказать, что photo E shows a tank collecting water. Фотография под буквой И показывает жидкость, показывает емкость, куда скапливается жидкость. Вот видите, видимо, от дождей. И они эту воду могут использовать. Okay, let's listen.
2.14. Part 2.
I'm with Jane Cadwallader, the Secretary of Adelante Africa.
Hello.
Hi, Jane. How long have you been working with Adelante Africa?
Well, for over 10 years now, since the beginning. I was the teacher who sang songs with the children back in 2008 when the lorry broke down.
Jane, tell us what Adelante Africa has been doing since 2010, since the primary school was finished.
Well, we've done a lot. Our next major project was to build a children's home for the orphans who don't have anybody in their extended family who can look after them. The children's home has been running since 2012, and now we have 57 children there. But we also realised that if we wanted to help the local children, we really needed to help their parents too. Our primary school was beautiful, but many of the children were sick. They had malaria or malnutrition. So we started several small community projects. For example, we tried to help people to improve their diet by giving them seeds to plant a variety of vegetables. Most people in rural Uganda, you see, don't eat fruit and vegetables except what they can find growing wild. We've also been building water tanks to collect rainwater so that they have cleaner water to drink and they don't have to walk the long distances to the nearest river. And we've started a small factory to make sunflower oil, which has helped local farmers and also given some jobs to local people. Sunflower oil is much healthier than the palm oil that most people were using before. So really, we've helped the whole community with this.
And are any of your new projects related to education?
Absolutely. In 2011, we started a FAL group in Igayaza. FAL stands for Functional Adult Literacy. So these are classes to teach adults, mainly women, to read and write and to speak English, which is the official language in Uganda. Since then, we've started 11 more FAL groups in other nearby villages. And our other big project is that we've just built a secondary school so that children from our primary school and the other local children can get a good secondary education. We're very proud of it. It's not quite finished yet, though. We need to raise more money in order to finish all the buildings.
And are all the volunteers, the people who work with you, from Britain and Spain?
No, not at all. There are a few of us from Europe who visit regularly, but the people who make it all possible are the Ugandan volunteers. Without them, we couldn't do anything. In the future, we hope that all the projects will be run by them.
And can you tell me about some of the children, some individual cases?
Let me think. I know a good example. John Musée. He's a boy, an orphan, who was at the primary school when the lorry broke down. He was very bright, and when he finished primary in the new school, he got very good grades, and we sponsored him to go to secondary school. He worked very hard there as well and did very well. And now he's in the last year of nursing at a good nursing college. And I also have to tell you about baby Rose. She was brought to our children's home with her brother. They were living alone in a hut with their mother who was dying of AIDS. When they arrived, Rose was a year old. She was suffering from malnutrition and weighed only 5 kilos. Her little legs were so thin that we thought she'd never walk. And she never, ever smiled. Now, 1 year later, she's running around laughing and smiling. Since she came here, she's changed completely into a healthy, happy child.
So Adelante Africa has really changed their lives.
Yes, it's changed their lives. But it's also changed the lives of the people who work for Adelante Africa. Most of us feel it's the most satisfying thing we've ever done. Have a look at the photos and videos on our website. It's www.adelanteafrica.org. Maybe it will change your life too.
I would like to tell you that you can find this script in your book, page 126. Хочу сказать, что вы можете найти скрипт, сценарий того, что они говорят, на странице 126. Мы сейчас туда не будем смотреть. Вы можете открыть книгу и сами посмотреть, найти все картинки и составить их в той последовательности, в которой нужно. Обращу ваше внимание на глоссарий. Glossary. Orphan. A child without a mother or father. Сирота. Malnutrition. Not having enough to eat. Недоедание, недостаточное питание, плохое питание. Seeds, the small hard part of a plant from which a new plant can grow. Семена. FAL, functional adult literacy, когда они учат взрослых людей грамоте. AIDS, an illness without which attacks the body's immune system. Это СПИД. I think you know. Now you may listen to the interview again. Можете послушать еще раз. And then correct the information from the sentences from 1 to 9. И исправить информацию, которая дана в предложениях с 1 по 9. Сколько детей живет, достаточно ли они едят овощей, и they build in tanks for store petrol, для чего им нужны вот эти вот емкости, где они, какое масло они едят, palm oil or sunflower oil. They have just built another primary school or not. Most volunteers are from Europe or not. John Musée isn't studying to be a teacher or not. Rose, the first arrived at children's homes, she's never spoke. Just listen very attentively and ask and correct the information. Все это неправильно, неправда, нужно исправить. Do you know anybody like Jane who does volunteer work for a charity? What do they do? Знаете ли вы кого-то, кто волонтерит, помогает так же, как делает это Джейн? И чем они занимаются? Section number 2. Grammar. Present perfect for, since, present perfect continuous. Переходим к грамматике. Раздел 2. Настоящее совершенное, совершенное время и совершенное продолженное. Сейчас пойдем на страницу 135. Grammar Bank 135. Итак, когда мы используем present perfect? Present perfect со словами since и for. For это в течение какого-то времени, в течение года, в течение месяца, в течение 3 лет. Since – с октября, с прошлого лета и так далее. То есть смысл понятен, да, когда-то началось и, может быть, до сих пор продолжается. Как мы используем how long? Как долго? Как долго ты учишься в школе, как долго ты занимаешься спортом. Мы используем present perfect. Это незавершенное, да, действие, которое длится до сих пор. И что еще? Мы не используем другие времена, когда речь идет именно об этих структурах. Давайте послушаем 2.16, чтобы закрепить наглядно.
2.16.
They've known each other for 10 years.
Julia's had that bag since she was at university.
How long have you worked here?
Since 1996.
How long has your brother had his motorbike?
For about a year.
They've known each other for 10 years. Они знают друг друга. Вот present perfect. Have и вторая форма глагола participle to. Julia's had that bag since. Julia has had. Здесь has спрятано. Вот он, have has и participle to. То же самое. Have has, participle to. И отвечаем, как давно у тебя, у брата этот мотоцикл? For about a year. Уже год. Present perfect continuous. Have or has been plus verb plus инговое окончание. Have been doing. Has been doing. How long? Okay, let's listen. We'll listen later. We use the present perfect continuous with for and since with the action verbs learn, work, and go to talk about actions which started in the past and still true. Мы используем перфектное продолженное время со словами for и since с глаголами действия. Learn, work, go и так далее, чтобы показать, что действие началось когда-то и до сих пор продолжается. With non-action verbs we use the present perfect simple. А если это глаголы не действия, помните, мы в предыдущем уроке разбирали, да, глаголы чувств, слышать, думать, да, если это не состояние, да, обозначают, то мы используем такую структуру, да, без continuous. Don't use the perfect continuous with for и since. Мы не используем continuous со словами for и since. Мы используем present perfect continuous. We can also use the present perfect continuous for continuous or repeated actions which have been happening very recently. The actions have usually just finished or have visibly presented results. То есть действие, которое началось, и мы видим конкретные результаты. Это действие вот прям свеженькое. I have, you have, he, she has, we have, they have и been working. Вот он. Been добавляем и глагол с инговым окончанием. Отрицательная форма. Так образуется. Have been вопрос. Have you been? Have вернулся на первое место. Have you been? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Live and work. Live and work are often used in either the present perfect simple or present perfect continuous with the same meaning. I have lived here since 2010. I've been living here since 2010. Жить, работать, эти два глагола часто употребляются или в present perfect, или в present perfect continuous. И у них значение одно и то же. Вот теперь послушаем 2.17.
2.17. 1.
How long have you been learning English?
Nick has been working here since April.
They've been going out together for about 3 years.
2. Your eyes are red. Have you been crying?
No, I've been chopping onions.
Мгм. Как долго изучаешь английский? Have you been learning? Nick has been working с апреля. Работает с апреля. Have been going out together for about 3 years. Ты что, плакала? Have you been crying? No, I've been chopping onions. Да нет, лук резала. So now you should do some grammar exercises. Write the sentences in the present perfect continuous. Переписывайте эти предложения и ставите в present perfect continuous. Как это делать? Вот в этой табличке есть. Меняете глагол, третью форму находите, has или have, been везде, инговое окончание. Да? B. Circle the correct form. Tick if both are possible. Выбираете правильную форму, галочку ставите, если два варианта верные. And C. Make present perfect continuous with for and since if necessary. Use the continuous form if possible. Составьте предложение в continuous, present perfect continuous или present perfect, используя с или в течение. И continuous используется только там, где можно. Например, вот идет снег. Снег идет с 5 утра. It has been snowing since 5 a.m. И так далее. Okay, be ready with the sentences. We'll check them if we have time. Будьте готовы с ответом, мы проверим, если у нас будет время. Okay, let's get back to page 21. Возвращаемся на страницу 21. So we have exercise A here. Look at 6 sentences from the interview. Complete them with the past participle or ing form from the list. Нужно вставить эти глаголы building, changed, going, doing, running, started, working в эти предложения. 5-6 предложений у вас здесь. Section C, pronunciation, sentence stress. Listen to 4 sentences. Try to write the stressed word in the pink boxes. Произношение, ударение в слове. Сейчас послушаем 4 предложения. И вам нужно уловить слова, которые находятся под ударением, и написать их вот в розовые прямоугольнички.
2.18. 1.
How long have you been learning French?
2.
I've been learning French for 3 years.
3.
How long has it been raining?
4.
It's been raining since lunchtime.
You may listen again the sentences and try to copy the rhythm. Можете послушать еще раз и постараться скопировать интонацию. Section 4, speaking. Look at the squares and write something in as many as you can. Посмотрите на эти квадратики. И на эту тему нужно написать настолько много предложений, насколько вы можете, но хотя бы одно по каждой теме. И здесь нужно использовать или present perfect или present perfect continuous. Хочу напомнить, что present perfect используется с глаголами состояния, думать, чувствовать и так далее. А present perfect continuous можно использовать с глаголами действия. Вот у вас есть ситуация a charity you support. Например, вы жертвуете в какую-то благотворительную организацию уже там целый месяц, и вы об этом и сообщаете. I've been supporting one charity organization for a whole month. Да? И так далее. Сколько вы знаете друга, когда вы вот используете какую-то социальную сеть, спортом, которым вы занимаетесь, у вас есть машина или какой-то транспорт, вы живете в каком-то месте, например, ходите в какой-то бар или ресторан уже там столько-то или с какого-то года, у вас есть что-то важное, драгоценное, вы, например, являетесь членом какого-то клуба, организации, или вы учите, вот learn, да, это подглагол состояния, учите что-то делать в течение какого-то времени. Хочу отметить, что глагол live, жить, можно использовать как в present perfect, так и present perfect continuous. Вы пишете все эти предложения у себя в тетради, когда мы в Zoom проверяем, вы можете их из тетради зачитывать, а потом к этим вопросам мы можем задавать вопросы. К этим предложениям можно задавать вопросы. Okay, section 5 is writing. We are on page 116. Следующая секция, 5 письмо на странице 116. An informal email. Неформальное письмо. Давайте прочитаем письмо, которое написала Кася Ангелине. Hi Angelina, I'm really sorry for not writing earlier, but I've been very busy since I got back from the UK. Thanks for your wonderful 6 months. I loved being in Chichester and I had a great time. Also, my English got a bit better, don't you think? I really enjoyed looking after Mike and Sally. I thought they were adorable and we had a fantastic time together. I have really good memories, for example, our trip to the Isle of Wight and the zoo there. I've had several messages from the children since I've been back. Please tell them from me that I miss them. I've been a bit stressed for the last few weeks because I've been working at a restaurant while I look for a permanent job. Being a waitress is very hard work, but I can now afford to rent a flat with Sophia and 2 other friends, and I'm saving to buy a car. I've also been spending a lot of time with my family. My brothers have changed so much over the past 6 months. That's all for now. Thanks again for everything, and I hope you know you are welcome in Gdansk at any time. My family would love to meet you. Summer here is usually lovely. Give my regards to Matt and hope to hear from you soon. Best wishes, Kasia. Postscriptum. I attach a photo I took of me with the kids. I hope you like it. Это письмо Касси, которая была у Ангелины в Британии и присматривала за ее детьми. Пишет, что она вернулась, и все у нее хорошо. Работает в ресторане, ищет работу, очень скучает, прилагает фото. Kasia went to Britain and stayed for 6 months with a couple, Angela and Matt, working as an au pair. After going back to Poland, she sent them an email, read the email and match what she says to paragraphs. Нужно теперь сопоставить о том, что она говорит, к параграфам. То есть она передает привет, она благодарит, она рассказывает, что она сейчас делает, она извиняется, что не писала раньше. Вот все вот эти 6 параграфов нужно определить. То есть A, B, C, D нужно написать вот сюда. A, B, C, D. Когда вы закончите с этим заданием, у вас будет план. И вы сможете написать похожее письмо своей подруге или другу. Извините, что долго не писали, там, за что-то поблагодарить, рассказать новости, поблагодарить еще раз, что пригласить в ответ и send greetings, передать приветы. То есть, как начинается informal emails? Приветствие, beginnings, hi или dear. если вы хотите быть формальными. То есть Hi Jane, Hi Kate или Dear Jane, Dear Kate. I'm really sorry for not writing earlier, but, например. Прошу прощения, что раньше написала, но. Thank you, thanks so much for your letter, having me to stay. Спасибо за письмо, за то, что позволил остаться и так далее, так далее. It was great to hear from you. Так было здорово тебя слышать. И концовка. That's all for now. На этом все. Hope you hear from you soon. Надеюсь, скоро от тебя что-то получу. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Это очень популярные, вот их нужно запомнить, постоянно в письме пишут. Give my regards, I love to, best wishes, love from. И по скрипту when you want to add a short message at the end. Используйте эти структуры для того, чтобы написать свое письмо. То есть вашим заданием письменным, которое вы прогрузите в Classroom, будет написание вот такого письма подруге. И, пожалуйста, используйте в этом письме present perfect continuous. Составьте предложение так, чтобы там обязательно был present perfect continuous. Потому что здесь его нужно закрепить. И используйте вот эти фразы для начала и для конца. Письмо может быть не таким длинным, но обязательно должно быть приветствие, начало, какая-то суть описания, да? Например, чем вы занимаетесь, благодарности и прощание. Такая структура письма должна быть соблюдена. So now let's get back to page 21. Возвращаемся на страницу 21. А на странице 21 у нас чтение. Section 6. Reading. A. In your country, are there charity events to raise money for a good cause? Have you ever taken part in one? What did you do? How much money did they raise? Did you raise? Есть ли у нас в стране организации благотворительные? Может, вы принимали в каких-то участиях? Что вы делали? Как помогали? You are going to read a blog by TV presenter Helen Skelton, who has taken part in several charity challenges. First, read the introduction and answer the questions. Сейчас будем читать эту статью, блог. Think about the questions. Подумайте о вопросах. What has Helen done for charity before? Что Хелен делала для благотворительности раньше? What is her most recent challenge and how is it different? Какой вызов был ее? Или challenge был самым последним? В чем было отличие? Now read Helen's blog entries and number them in order from 1 to 9. Use highlight phrases to help you. Ну, для начала просто прочитаем, а потом уже обозначим в порядке, которым нужен. Okay, the polar challenge. Полярный challenge. Read. Okay, after you have read the blog, please do the exercises. D. Read the blog again. In which entry does she mention? Прочитайте еще раз и укажите, в каких абзацах она упоминает. Вот здесь есть абзацы A, B, C, D, да? И вот они, название. Feeling very emotional, где она была очень эмоциональна. How beautiful Antarctica is. Как красивая Антарктика. Looking forward to wash. Уже очень хочет помыться. Looking like a science fiction character. Выглядит как характер из фантастического кино или книги. Not being able to go outside. Невозможно выйти наружу. Stopping cycling because she was very tired. Уже невозможно было ехать, потому что была очень устала. Having to wear the same clothes every day. Вынуждена носить одну и ту же одежду каждый день. Traveling quickly for the first time. Едет быстро или путешествует быстро, передвигается в первый раз. Tell your partner about the adventure short you've done or an exciting experience you've had. What was a positive experience? Why not? How did you feel? Обсудим наши путешествия, которые были, положительный, отрицательный опыт. Okay, let's move on. Vocabulary and speaking, section number 7. Здесь мы немножко поговорим про strong adjectives. Да? Это прилагательные сильной эмоциональной окраски. Exhausted, как истощенный. Boiling, кипящий. Starving, умирающий от голода. Section 7a. Complete 3 sentences from Helen's blog with an adjective. What do you think they mean? То есть блоги, которые написала Хелен, были прилагательные, и нужно их вставить сюда и объяснить их значение. After 9 hours of cycling, I was completely... It is outside -15. I smell awful and my hair is absolutely. Найдите эти предложения в тексте и вставьте прилагательные. Then complete the sentences with the normal adjectives. Затем закончите эти предложения с обычными прилагательными. You have 12 sentences here. They all contain strong adjectives. From the context of their previous knowledge, students should be able to write synonyms for each one by writing the normal adjectives. То есть здесь вам нужно подобрать синоним. Вот, синоним к starving, синоним к huge, который будет обычно не эмоциональной окраски существительным. Прочитайте их и попробуйте подобрать синоним. Послушаем и это обсудим. Okay, the last section is 8, video listening. This is the first video listening we have in our book. And look at the poster. We have just 5 different kinds of biscuits or cakes. And so the event in Oxford University Press, a sale of homemade cakes and biscuits to raise money for charity. Вы перед собой видите постер и 5 видов печенья и тортиков. Событие организовано, чтобы собрать деньги от продажи этой выпечки на благотворительность. Now we're gonna watch the documentary, and please be attentive. What of the following is mentioned? New York Marathon, the Great British Bake Off, Macmillan Cancer Sport, Daisy Watt, Ness Stress Reliever, Sponge Cake with Blueberries, Baking with Kids, Decoration, and 170 pounds. Okay, let's watch.
People do many different things to raise money for charity. These runners are doing the New York Marathon. Every year, the race raises about $40 million. And these people are doing a sponsored skydive. There are also ways to raise money without taking exercise or jumping out of an aeroplane. These people are bringing cakes to a charity bake sale. The popularity of bake sales in the UK has increased dramatically over the last decade, thanks in part at least to the popularity of the Great British Bake Off. This programme, which began in 2010, has encouraged people of all abilities to bake, especially when it's for charity. Today's sale at Oxford University Press will raise money for 2 charities: Macmillan Cancer Support and Adelante Africa, a charity that supports education and other projects in a rural area of Uganda. But this bake sale is different. It's also a competition and will be judged by Daisy Watt and Emma Collin, who are chefs and professional bakers. And from the moment the posters appeared, people have tried to persuade their colleagues to join in.
Oh, I don't know, I'm not a very good baker.
Go on, it's for charity.
Maybe.
Emma is going to make Viennese whirls, biscuits with buttercream and jam.
I bake quite often, probably once or twice a month. It's one of my main hobbies that I enjoy. Kind of a stress reliever for me, just being in the kitchen by myself with some music on, just enjoying baking. And it's just an added bonus to do it for charity as well, combining one of my hobbies with raising some money for some really great causes. It's not the first time I've taken part in a bake sale. I've done several different kinds of bake sales for work and other things.
James is going to make a sponge cake with blueberries.
I bake not that often, maybe about, I don't know, once a month or something I might bake. When I do, it's usually baking with my kids, I suppose. So, you know, we make something really easy like cookies or something like that. The cake that I baked today, I have baked that one in the past before, and so I'm quite confident that it's going to be okay at least, but you know, I couldn't say that it's actually a speciality. I don't bake often enough to have a speciality, to be honest. I mean, I'm baking now because it's for a charity, right? So I wouldn't say I have a speciality.
The finalists in this competition bake sale are a baklava cake, a Neapolitan cake, Emma's Viennese whirls, a loaf cake, and a chocolate cake. Although this isn't the Great British Bake Off, Daisy is looking for certain criteria in the cakes.
There are a few things I was looking for. Refinement. It sounds harsh, but there were good cakes out there, so it was really important to choose the cakes that looked like someone had put real effort into the decoration. And you can see the ones that put the effort in. Cuts beautifully. Oh,
And it's now time to judge the 5 finalists.
That's fantastic. Very clever. And you've even done the different coloured icing in between. A labour of love. Really good sponge. The chocolate sponge is delicious. It's not over chocolatey, it's just...
And then to choose the winner.
So I've conferred enough because it is really close, but there is one winner who has obviously put so much effort, not just in the decoration, but also her sponge is technically brilliant. So, are you going to come up here? It is perfect.
And now the only thing left to do is to eat the cake and give money to the 2 charities.
Obviously really happy that my cake was chosen, and it's really nice to bake for such a great cause as well.
They were really complimentary about my bake, which was great. but a biscuit I don't think is going to stand up to those beautifully iced cakes that we had, so the standard was really high.
I mean, I'm not the best baker in the world, I know that, but you know, as I say, it came out really well and it raised loads of money for the charities, so no, I'm really pleased I did it, yeah.
The cake sale raised over £270 for Macmillan Cancer Support and Adelante Africa.
You can watch the video twice if you need, and we'll discuss is there a similar program to the Great British Bake Off in our country? Do you like baking? What kind of things do you bake? Do you make? Do people do bake sales for charity in your country? Поговорим о благотворительности, в частности о выпечке. Любите ли вы печь? Были ли вы на подобном мероприятии? Собирали ли деньги на какую-либо благотворительность? That's it for now. На этом все. Thank you for your attention. See you. Bye-bye.